Hi, today I want to talk about consequences to overeating or eating the wrong things after you have duodenal switch surgery. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. I have some information that from personal experience that I'd like to share. If you're new here, my name is Tina, and I had duodenal switch surgery, traditional duodenal switch surgery, on June 9th of 2020. I'm currently just over 4 months out. I've lost almost 40 pounds since surgery, and I've lost almost 60 pounds since my pre-diet. So my current weight is, I believe it's I try not to weigh it every single day, but last time I weighed myself a couple days ago, or on the 9th, I was 216. Just to talk about consequences to overeating. I'm calling them consequences because it's not pleasant. So when I first had my surgery, I didn't have very much restriction, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I think this is fairly common. I wasn't hungry. I didn't have any appetite, but I didn't have any restriction. And I was I was gulping down water just because I was terrified of being dehydrated. And I was drinking my protein shakes like I was supposed to be drinking, just because the fear of losing all my hair was real, and it still is. But I didn't really have any restriction initially, other than I was just very tired and I just wasn't interested. And I didn't know this until about a month after my surgery. But when you first get out of surgery, sometimes your insides are really numb, and so you can't really feel the restriction right away. And I don't think this is true for everybody. I know that on some of the groups on Facebook that I'm on, people don't have that same experience. And I also know that some people have a lot of hunger right after surgery. So just so you know, everybody's situation, everybody's experience, I believe, is really different. But with my situation, I was not hungry, but I still had no restriction. Or I felt no restriction. So luckily I wasn't hungry, otherwise I would have probably done myself some damage, because you really have to be careful when the first month or so after surgery, you have a bunch of stitches in there, and you don't want to, mess anything up. So now that I'm 4 months out, I have had some experience of eating too fast. That was my first experience with my restriction. So I just was probably eating the normal speed and the normal rate that I would have normally before surgery, but I just took too big of a bite and swallowed it too fast without chewing too much. And so I will share that experience with you. So that wasn't pleasant. The first time that happened, I was about probably 2 months out, and I think it was, it was on the puree stage. So it was something that I was on the puree with. It was probably cottage cheese or something of that nature. And I just took a normal bite like I had not had surgery. You have habits. Took a normal big bite and just chewed it a little bit and swallowed it. And immediately, I knew that I screwed up bad. I felt really, really tight in my chest. My throat just felt like everything was just right there, and it was very, very uncomfortable. And then I could feel it moving down. I believe your stomach is up higher than you think, because it feels like your heart. It feels like right here, your chest. And I felt that chunk of cottage cheese move down, and it was not comfortable. It did not feel good, and it took a long time, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should drink something, because I know that all of the literature and all what I've been told is that you can't drink half an hour before or after you eat anything. So I felt like if I drank something, it would wash it down. But then I was kind of, at that point, I was a little bit scared, because I thought, if I drink something, I don't want to make it worse. So I just stuck it out, and I just kind of adjusted myself and kind of tried to, in my mind, I thought I was kind of helping it down. I don't know if I was or not, but it probably took 15 minutes before I didn't feel it anymore. And I mean, that was a lesson. I learned it, and I'm not mad about it. That's what the surgery's for. That's what the DS surgery, or any bariatric surgery, that's what it's supposed to do. You're not supposed to, especially right after, you're not supposed to just be able to shovel it in like you had before. So my body's just doing its job. I made a mistake. I just wanted to share what that felt like. And then that kind of resolved itself, except for the pressure on my chest kind of lasted for a while. So I wasn't feeling very good, my chest, with that experience. That was just my first experience of eating too fast. Then a couple of months after that, or not a couple of months, probably a few weeks after that, I think I'm a food addict. I have food addiction issues, and so I ate some things that I'm not supposed to eat. I believe it was some cookies, and I just thought, well, if I chew them really good, it'll be the same thing as eating pureed food. This is, my addicted mind telling me that this is okay. It's not okay. Don't eat cookies. We're not supposed to have that much sugar or carbs, especially a couple months out of surgery. But human, and I did it anyways. And it went down fine. And I believe that that's what they call slider foods, when you can eat it and you don't really feel anything. So I ate probably 2 or 3 cookies and thought I was okay. And I went to bed that night, and then the next morning I had the worst pain in my stomach. Just horrible, horrible pain. I was curled up. I stumbled to the bathroom, and I had just you all know by now I don't like talking about poo, but it was painful. It was large. It was a lot. It just kept coming. There was diarrhea and not diarrhea. I mean, it was just a whole ordeal. Probably 2 hours after I woke up, it was 2 hours of dealing with that. I couldn't get far away from the bathroom for 2 hours. That was my consequence for eating cookies. Not to mention the carbs that I'm not supposed to have, and how we don't malabsorb simple carbs. So that was just stupid, and it was just a mistake. But like I said, you learn from these things, right? And then another thing that happened is I don't think I was eating anything bad, and I don't think I was eating anything too fast, but I ate something, and I think my trigger for when I'm full is I start getting the hiccups. And so I made a mistake and kind of ignored my hiccups and just, hiccuped and then ate some more, which just don't do that. You're done when you have hiccups. But I just kept eating and eating, and I was sitting on my couch, and I just had this crazy urge to lay down and stretch out. And so I laid down and stretched out, and my whole body felt like it was burning. And I'm also 51 years old, and I believe I'm menopausal, so this might be a hot flash as well. So I'm not sure, but it might be just the DS, and it might be the hot flash. I'm not sure. Could be both. But I laid down on my couch, and my whole body was just hot, and my stomach felt really, really hot, and it felt like it was burning, and it started in my face and just kind of moved down as my food was moving down. And then my stomach just felt really heavy. Like it felt like I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels like you've got so much stuff in your stomach, and your stomach is just trying to push it through. And I mean, I guess you kind of can visualize it because I've seen so many diagrams of what duodenal switch surgery does. So you kind of go back to that while you're experiencing it, and it's like this big chunk of food that I ate way too fast is just struggling to get through this little stomach tube. And then the other consequence to overeating or eating bad things is that, and I think this is pretty consistent with other people that have duodenal switch, but for some reason, morning is when we have bowel movements. And so whatever you eat the night before is that your consequences are going to be that morning, however early. And so it's taken me a few months to figure out that if I do something that I'm not supposed to do, I'm going to be miserable in the morning. So usually I'm home during the day, and so I can just stay in bed, or I can stay upstairs in my bedroom by my bathroom for a while. But sometimes I have places to go in the morning, and I have a doctor's appointment this week, and I have a hair appointment tomorrow, and so I have things going on. So I know that I have to take it easy tonight. And I guess it's a good learning experience because I've learned from my mistakes, but I just don't recommend it. And I'm happy that I finally, I had a little bit of discipline around this, where I knew, okay, I don't want to overdo it because it's really gonna hurt. But just know that once you experience that, once you feel that pain of what it feels like while it's moving down, at least for me, you're gonna remember it. And if you don't have all day the next day, all morning the next morning to deal with the bathroom, then you should probably be real careful what you eat the night before. Okay, and anyway, that's what I have for today. I just wanted to share consequences to overeating with you all, and I appreciate you watching. I hope you subscribe. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.